We shall soon be nothing but transparent heaps of jelly to one another.
The world is weird. Welcome to talk. Work it to me.
Welcome to Talk Worky to Me. That will never not be lame. So I think we just need to accept that's...
How many times do you think we're going to say this in our lives? Because we're committed now. We're doing this.
Oh, a lot, I hope. I hope we say Talk Worky to Me a lot.
Tim Ferriss has got up to like 800 episodes.
Has he?
Yeah.
Well, this is Talk Worky to Me, the podcast where we talk about AI.
The future of work.
And just how to stay sane and solvent and all of this, whatever's happening.
This is Kirsty Hulse. She's an inspirational speaker. She's an ex-CEO of a tech company. She's done lots with her life, and she has just got a book deal for her third book. In 2016, she wrote a book called The Future is Freelance and has not once said, "I told you so."
This is Henry Blanchard. He runs an AI school with some other really great people called Get Good with AI. That was good, wasn't it? That was good. You can tell this is prepared. I know exactly what I'm going to say. Trained hundreds of people to use AI, is an entrepreneur in residence, a lecturer, and is very passionate about getting people to start businesses, make lots of money. And I once asked him what his death row meal was. He could have anything in the world. He could eat anything. And his answer, without a shred of irony, was a trough of peas.
Love peas.
He loves peas.
Particularly in like a trough form factor.
Loves peas. Okay, we shall soon be nothing but transparent heaps of jelly to one another, Henry. Tell us about that.
Great hook, Kirsty Hulse.
Thank
Great,
you.
fantastic hook. Okay, so that is in reference to the invention of the train. No, not the invention of the train.
Radio.
It's the radio, yes. Yes, so Marconi, I believe, and people were very scared about the invention of the radio, and they were saying, all these radios and telephone calls and communication just means that we're going to be so interconnected and so in each other's business, where before you would write a letter to someone and 3 weeks later a scroll written by quill would return, and that was your means of connecting with people outside of your immediate geographic circle. And there was this idea that actually we'd have too much communication and we'd become these lumps of transparent jelly where all of our secrets and our emotions, and we'd just be living on top of each other.
Yes. The train one is when the train was invented. It was actually a very commonly held belief that a female passenger's body would simply melt at speeds of over 30 miles an hour.
And has that happened? We drove down here at a very law-abiding 39 miles an hour in the 40 zone.
I will say I am melting right now. We are recording this in the middle of the heat wave in the UK, and this is a hot studio.
Okay, so perhaps the real enemy was heat, not speed, all along.
But I guess
that wasn't very funny. It sounded really funny in my head, and then and you just played that with a very straight back.
Sorry, I should have been like, ha 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 ha.
Yeah, a polite chuckle would have been
chuckle,
acceptable.
But I think the hook today shows
right out.
No, I think the hook today shows that historically, whenever there's been new inventions, new innovations, new technology, they've been met with fear. They've been met with resistance.
Yeah, and I think there's definitely something to this, that if you look back at the history of all these things, everything gets met with resistance. There was California teachers went on strike in the 60s about the introduction of pocket calculators into school. And I mean like proper on strike. They were on the streets with like the placards with a bit of wood with a big cardboard sign on it, like genuinely on strike in the 60s about pocket calculators. My town, the town I grew up in called Godalming, was the first place in the world to get electric street lighting. Like 1882, and I remember this big
bloody sorry for you. We were in the pit still then.
Yeah,
we're in the bloody
up
pit.
in Stoke 3 years ago. But there was this big like front page cartoon in one of the national newspapers at the time, and it showed like a spider on like electric wires, but the spider's like body was incandescent light bulb, and like people were like tangled up in the wires and hanging from it and being electric. And it was like this idea that electricity was going to be this like evil kind of social parasite and was going to kill everyone with the results of electricity. And there was, you can't just run electricity down a wire down the street. You're murdering people.
I always say in my training, any ambiguity will always be perceived negatively.
What's the thing you say about your manager messaging you about a call.
Okay, yeah. Like, let's imagine that I'm your manager. Nobody wants it. Nobody needs it. But let's imagine that I am, and I text you and say, got 10 minutes for a quick chat. Like most of us,
Fired.
most of us,
Gone.
that like simple, innocuous message. You're like, what have I done? I'm in trouble. Like this is yesterday when we were on the train and we were talking about, Henry did a talk at a conference last week about AI and you got amazing feedback. Everyone was telling you how good it was and you were reciting this back to me. And then we were on the train and Henry was like, my brain is like imagined that someone's texted you and said that I was really shit and you're like sitting listening to me. And you just like completely fabricated.
Oh, yeah. My brain was like, hey, wouldn't it be funny if actually someone at the talk had messaged you and be like, I've just watched your partner do a talk and it's really, really rubbish. And you would be sitting there and be like, oh, look, listen to this. Johnny Big Pants said, oh, I did a great talk, but I know different.
And I felt like I had to really be like, that didn't happen. Like, that's a total mental fabrication because this is what we do. Like, as humans, we didn't evolve to move through the world being like, yeah, woohoo, I feel so safe. I feel so great. We evolved to be terrified, and we are currently living in quite extreme change. So if anyone listening to this is feeling weird and daunted and what even is happening, welcome to your humanity.
Right.
Like, it's just what we do. Shall we move on to audience questions? Now, we don't have any more audience questions because we're new to this. So let's just make some up on the spot, imagining the kinds of things that we think you might ask us if you were in this room with us, sweltering and having a lovely chat. What do we think people might ask?
I think a question that I get asked a lot, maybe by people who are currently in the audience but weren't asking an audience question, is this idea around like ethics. Ethics of AI. Like, should I feel guilty about using AI? Should I feel bad about using AI? Am I boiling the oceans by using AI? That's a question I get a lot.
Do you want to answer it?
I was just opening it to you first because I've got facts.
Yeah.
I've got facts, but
I've got an idea. Sorry, I interrupted you.
Well, I was saying I think maybe opinions are also interesting.
Are they?
Yeah.
That's a very contemporary view.
I'm a modern man.
Okay, so I think that leaders, now whether a leader is, someone who manages a team or has an impact and has an influence, I think most of us in some ways are leaders. I think we have a moral obligation to know what's happening. And so I think we have, if we're talking about ethics, I think we need to be informed. I think we need to be informed in what's going down, what AI is currently capable of, because I think the last thing any of us want is to maybe be managing a team, not understanding exactly what's happening, what you can currently do with codecs, e.g. Like all of these things that are currently happening, I think we need to have an awareness of, because whether we use it or not, wherever we sit on that line, we can't fight, if that's your perspective. We can't fight something we don't understand, but equally we can't understand how to help ourselves and those around us be equipped for the future of work. Yeah. So I think we have to understand AI. I know a lot of people who have just gone, I don't like this, so I'm just not going to learn it. That concerns me because the train has left the station and it's gone. That train has gone and we didn't have any choice in that, but we can participate and we can maybe, if we all get on a carriage and throw our weight around, we can maybe slightly inform its direction in a tiny little way. And so for anyone listening who's reticent about AI, I think this is a time for education and understanding what's happening so that we can then make informed choices.
Yeah, 100%. I think it's the same as maybe actually kind of my mum might be a good example of this. And my mum has never read or sent an email. And
has she not done emails?
Absolutely love that has no idea what an email would look like. Sometimes I wonder if she imagines it would actually look kind of like in the 90s and like You've Got Mail, sort of the AOL thing pops up with a graphic of a envelope and it pops open and the screen. I think maybe she thinks emails look like that still. But yeah, absolutely love it for her. Never read an email, never sent an email, doesn't have an email address, doesn't have a smartphone, has no sort of connection to modern tech. But I do think with the AI argument, it's like saying, in the 90s, I refused to learn like the Microsoft office suite.
Mhm.
And actually, I think you could still survive in business now if you were running a really kind of organic hand spun, like, this is our position. We don't
Yeah.
use any software tools. Like, we still invoice by hand. We do everything by hand. And that, I think that would have appeal for people.
And I think that will come.
Mm.
We had this conversation recently where I think more and more and more and more you'll have human made. Now it's kind of similar to now you might get like made in England or handmade or handcrafted. That's just going to become so much more that I think certain brands and businesses will have a stance on this is human created. And I think that will in the future start to get increasingly divisive,
Yeah.
So that's coming for sure. I saw my first ever person wearing a humans not robots t-shirt when I was in London the other day. And I was like, okay, this is where we're going.
Like we talked about in the last episode, I think certain people have a blindness to AI output. And I've seen some really nice pushback on this. There was a burger chain the other day. It was in London, and their posters and their Instagram posters so obviously AI generated, like these massive, physically impossibly balanced burgers that are shimmering with juice and grease, and people underneath like, this is AI slop. Like, and then the burger chain was replying to the comments with like, hey, sorry you think that. I'd love to open up a conversation or a dialogue with you. Tell me what's on your mind. What particular bothers you about AI generated imagery? Like these obviously AI written posts.
Right.
And so they were really inside this AI makes everything for me bubble.
Yeah.
And because they were so in that, I just think they couldn't step back and like, this looks awful.
Yes.
This looks so AI generated, and people are wise to it now.
I think, and I wanted to share this thought before it poofed away. I think some people think that people don't like AI generated content and marketing. I don't think that's true. People will take AI created things as long as it's good, as long as it's still good and creative and thoughtful. What was that fruit thing?
The Fruit Love Island.
The Fruit Love Island. This is it. Yeah. So there was a Fruit Love Island and it was all made by AI and people loved it and got behind it because there was still an interesting creative concept. And so I think blanket people don't like AI stuff. I don't think that's necessarily indicative of consumer mindset.
Yeah.
But I think people get really annoyed when it's not good, when it's bad. Like a customer service chatbot. Get in the bin.
Yes. When there's something that's obviously like you're using AI to extend your reach. So the Coca-Cola advert last Christmas, it was like a normal Coca-Cola advert, but it was made with AI. Massive pushback. People hated it because they was like, you are clearly capable of making a good Coca-Cola Christmas advert without AI. So now you're just displacing jobs, you're displacing people, you're displacing creativity. But the flip side is when you like the Fruit Love Island, when you see videos of like celebrities standing next to their younger selves or like there's a creator at the moment, she's doing like historical trip advice, like come travel with me to Pompeii or to Tudor England.
Oh,
and using
interesting. That's a nice application.
Yeah.
Let's link to that.
Can't do. Yeah. Stuff you can't do without AI or using AI in the same way you might use CGI. But whereas CGI would cost you millions and like you need some really, really smart people to do it, now individuals can do it and it unleashes more creativity. And yeah, I think you're completely right. Like that's interesting. But when it's like, this is something I could do before, but now I'm using AI to do it and it's work. Like for instance, the burger example. It's like you make the burgers, take a photo of them.
Yeah, take a photo of the burgers, Burger King.
Come on,
if you are
Burger
the king of burgers, if you are the royalty of the burger, take a photo
Surely
of it,
in your corpse.
my lord.
There was at least one burger loitering around. You could pap. Yeah. I remember I read a comment on a music festival forum a couple of years ago.
Cool guy on music festival
music
website.
Festival
He's just a cool guy.
You know, just cool on the forums, you know.
When were you on a music festival forum, Henry? What secret life are you living?
You know, I'm just like Creamfields and Reading and Leeds.
Is Greenville still? I don't know.
Someone fact check this. Does Greenfield still exist?
Okay, so you're on your
living my secret
music
double life.
festival.
Cool
You're on the
music guy.
Creamfields forum. Okay.
Creamfield's like subreddit. And I remember seeing someone say, oh, you know what? It's really nice this year because last year I noticed loads of obviously like AI made band and tour posters like around the arena. And this year, like I didn't see any of that. And I remember thinking,
they just got better.
Yeah, they just got better. I was like, oh, they just got better. We just stopped being able to tell. And I just thought that was really interesting. That's just a really interesting mark of the improvement in these services, that what once really stuck out, it now kind of like seamlessly gets integrated. It's like almost like maybe how in films, like CGI in the 90s, like Toy Story, or like really ropey special effects. And now most films are like blended, seamless-ish CGI.
This conversation has made me feel like maybe a bit hopeful, tentatively, because I'm petrified about living in a post-truth society. That scares me. I told you this, I was on the train the other day and I heard two teenagers arguing about whether the video they were watching was made out of AI. This scares me, Henry. This scares me big. Like people not being able to trust their own literal eyes. But as we're talking, I'm like, wait, like we do that now. We watch movies, we watch TV, but there is that, it's a film, it's made up.
Yeah.
And so maybe there is a route in which I hope, and I think this is slowly coming in, that we have to identify if something's AI generated. Like you have to. And then that becomes perhaps less of a problem. But before we get too existential, shall we do bot or not?
Bot or not. Bot or not.
Have we got a bot or not? You give me a bot.
Okay. Bot or not. Actually riffing off this, using AI for creativity. Like creation of something, whether it be like music, a jingle, a piece of art, maybe. Bot or not?
I think there are certain instances actually where it's really cool. So I think if you're bringing like your own flavor to it, there is a YouTuber I really like called Caroline Winkler, and she made some art using AI, and basically she took like a traditional kind of Dutch old masters vibe and took that and put it into a very modern setting. And I think that's when there are nice, implications. Ideally, we would all like to be commissioning our own portraits from oil painters. Like we would all love to be doing that, I think. But I think that's out of the reach of a lot of people. So I think using AI to extend the reach of your own creativity, I think there can be some lovely applications of that. I think where you don't do it is when you could easily get like real creativity. Real is an interesting word, but like get human creativity instead.
Yeah. I think a lot of where this displacement happens is in the margins. I think that's exactly right. I am not, in my current financial socioeconomic situation, I'm not commissioning like a giant oil painting. And I think
of me naked.
No. As much
Give
as
it 2 years and we'll hang it in our living room.
Or maybe I'll make one with AI. I like deep fake naked oil painting of Kirsty. But I do think it is on the margins. It's like I'm not going to spend however much, £10,000 on a custom oil painting. But is there a situation where I would, in fact, this is a really good example. So I got you off Etsy a couple of years ago, I got you a painting by numbers painting of us that you could make. And I never did it. And you never did it.
I don't know when I had ever given off the vibe that I wanted to do it.
I think I just wanted brownie points for getting like a cool present.
Okay, thank you.
I had no... It was one of those presents where you're thinking about yourself more than the other person.
I'll give you that win. That's a really cool present.
I just wanted you to think I got you a cool present.
You did. Thank you for the really cool present.
Thank you for not doing it and sticking true to your principles. But on the margins now, that would maybe be something, I mean, obviously the mixing of the paints and things but that something like that is now something I'd probably turn to AI to do. So people kind of at the marginal price
Yeah.
in a very similar way to like junior versus senior employees. It's like senior employees, fine. Junior employees, like a lot of the work, I remember when I started working at Deloitte, a lot of that kind of grind work that helps you get good at a role and understand a role is now replaceable by AI. So it's again, the people on kind of the tipping point margins of like, oh, it's, you know, am I spending 20 quid on a person on Etsy, or am I doing like 10 minutes of prompting to get the same result?
And that is why if you're early talent, early career, or you manage people who are early talent, early career, teach them to be really good at AI. It's so important. It's
100%.
it's so important. Early career be the person in the business that really gets AI. I think there's something that you share that I think is very interesting. A lot of businesses are understandably scared about the data security of AI. And then you will often just reflect back, because it's up to each business, it's up to each individual what you share with this. But you will reflect back like, okay, do you put your documents into Google Drive? Because if you do, then you can put your data into Gemini. Like, do you put your financial data into Zero? Because if you do, and so it's just getting people to reflect on like, what is it that we're comfortable with our data with? Because you often talk about how the bigger models don't train on external data at an enterprise license.
This is it. So in the last 2.5 years, I'm going to ask you to guess because it's a fun game, but you know the answer
We love
already.
games.
So in the last 2.5 years, how many instances has there been where someone's put data into ChatGPT or Claude when they've clicked the little opt out of training button? So they've been on a paid plan, they've clicked opt out of training. How many times has anyone around the world, any business person, put data into ChatGPT or Claude, and it's later been like leaked back through the model?
On a paid plan, never.
Literally zero.
On a free plan, literally always.
Yeah. Like if you're on a free plan, you are the product. They're going to take your delicious data. But if you're paying these model providers money, and if you've clicked the don't train on my data button, the data isn't then used in training.
Yeah.
And so you can have a lot of assurance that it's, you know, we do so many things that are genuinely horrifying insecure with data, and be like, oh, I just emailed that report to myself, but I CC'd in my personal email because I can't access my work email on my home device. I'm like, a million times more insecure than anything you could be doing with your team or enterprise ChatGPT.
Yes. So I guess this episode's kind of accidentally become a bit about creativity. So in the bot or not, I think our theory is bot, use it if you're still being creative, if you're thinking about new concepts, not if you're just doing stuff you can do anyway and you're using it as a shortcut. This makes me think about, is it Google
Pomeli.
Google Pomeli. Tell the listeners about Google Pomeli.
Okay, so Google Pomeli. Interestingly, Google are doing interesting things with AI. So they have this thing called Notebook LM. None of the other labs have an equivalent. They have this thing called Pomeli, which is an AI service where you drop in any URL. Technically, it should be your own URL that you have copyrighted.
It absolutely legally should be your own URL.
When I'm doing a demo, I'll put anyone's URL in. I'll drop it in that box. But what it will do is it will assess your business DNA. So it will crawl the website, it'll extract the logos, the brand tone, the fonts, the colors, and then it will say, right, I've extracted your brand canvas, your brand DNA. Now, what do you want me to do? I can make you some social assets. I can make you a new site. I can make you Instagram carousels. I can make you reels. I can make you imagery. I can create you whole social, like end-to-end content. And it's this idea of like, it won't be perfect, but it's if you're sick of like moving stuff around in Canva all the time, or like trying to copy and paste things in. If you're doing the work of like, all I seem to be doing is like clicking and moving things 2 centimeters there, or like experimenting with like 20 different shades of pink, it takes all that like drudge work away at the start, and it gives you a really, really nice template to work from. Like, I've built your social campaign and it won't quite be right, but with 10 minutes of tweaking, okay, I've just got like a month's worth of creative.
Yeah. And it was really nice because you showed this to an agency who do social, right?
Yeah.
Like, they had a social team, we were training them, and I think it was the head of social. She was like, this is awesome. We're not going to use it, but some of the ideas are great. It's almost just like a springboard for ideation. So I think using AI for a springboard for ideation can be very good. And I also think using AI to create formulas for maybe the kinds of content we want to create
Yeah.
is very helpful.
Yeah. And what it's good at is quantity. So, for instance, if I said, Kirsty, make me 1,000 Instagram posts, are you taking on that challenge?
I'm doing very little that you asked me to do as a baseline, and that is absolutely no.
Yeah. Okay. But if I asked your Claude to do it, it would come
Gagging. Just desperate.
Desperate.
So wants it.
Like a
Is
Labrador
so
panting at
thirsty
me.
to make those posts.
Throw me the prompt. I will retrieve it. So your thirsty Claude will happily make me 1,000 Instagram posts. And my job as the human is to say, okay, which ones fit what I want?
Yeah.
Which ones can I use as a starting off point? Which ones can I edit? Because you have almost unlimited quantity, but what we still haven't commoditized is taste and quality. And that certainly now, come back in 2 years, it might be a different answer, but for now, and this is where it serves people who are experts. Like if I have never written, like we were talking about last episode, if I've never written a speech or given a presentation before, you look at the output and you think, this is great.
Yes.
Likewise, when you're an expert in something and you look at AI's output, you're like, that's ropey. But if I have 100 different options to choose from, 2 or 3 will be worth me taking as a springboard and doing something and putting my own genius onto it. And so that's where, again, it's a reach extender for people who know what they're doing.
Yeah. Should we do the draft?
The draft. The draft. The draft.
Okay, what shall we should really prepare these. Okay, so let's do, well, we've been talking about creativity.
Yeah.
So let's do
parts of a social media campaign.
Oh my God. Okay, that's really fun. Yeah. Parts of a social media campaign. I won last time. I think we can all agree.
You did win.
Okay, so I'm going to go first.
Yeah.
And
if you won, I have to go first.
No, doesn't the winner get to go first?
Oh my God. I mean, that seems grossly unfair.
Compound interest, baby.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, no, you.
No, the accountant in me is like, okay, she used the magic words, compound interest. Still hers.
The winner goes first. Okay, so I'm picking an aesthetic capability. So I'm like, I have the ability to be aesthetic. So I've taken aesthetic.
You've done that all wrong.
So
You've done
from
that
here
all
on in. Yes.
I'm choosing images.
Fine. That's actually fine. I'm not worried because your images are going to look bad now.
Why am I? Oh,
because I've got aesthetics.
I was so smug then. I was like, foolish.
Okay.
Foolish. She should have picked like pixels.
You've got ugly images and I've got beautiful text and beautiful textures and patterns in my campaigns.
In your social, you've got textures in your social media campaigns.
Yeah.
It's
like a
3D.
Textured background.
How are you showing this background of texture?
You can visually...
You don't have any images.
Oh no, but I can have
you're describing the texture on threads. You're on Blue Sky, being like a light Hessian.
Okay, but I've got fonts. That's my next pick.
Okay.
My next pick. I've got fonts. I've got aesthetics, and I've got fonts.
Okay, where are you using these fonts?
On my carousels and stuff.
I think a carousel is an image, quite clearly.
What?
You've got bold and italic as your font variations.
Wait, so okay, so you've got images.
I've got images.
So I can't do carousels, I can't do posts,
No,
I can't do...
You are text only. Or the other thing you could do.
Okay, so it's your turn.
Is it my turn?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'll also take videos.
Oh, I think you're going to win this one. Okay,
they won't be pretty, but they will be functional. And sometimes that's all you need for an offer. 10% off, ends this Tuesday. Book now, discount ends soon.
And
join the club.
A lot of brands intentionally do ugly posts.
Yeah.
I'll use Comic Sans. Okay, I've absolutely messed this up.
Yeah.
So I've got aesthetics and I've got fonts. But I can't.
But you can't use fonts.
I can't put anything in Canva and download it as an image and post it to Instagram.
No.
I can't do that.
No, you can, but what you can do is in an all text post. You be like, imagine this is in Montserrat.
Okay, but what I've got
is
compelling narratives. I've taken your okay, so I can only do work. I'm writing a long form LinkedIn content, but or is it gripping?
Yeah, I'm reading to the bottom of the page.
You're reading to the bottom of the page. You've got ugly videos. I think you might. Okay, what's your last pick?
Okay, hang on. And so the broad brief is social media campaigns. Okay. I'm gonna go over. I have got pricing, the ability to put a price somewhere.
Do you know, it's so funny because last time we did this, I ended up as very like vibes based, very like narrative. The same thing has happened again. You've become functional, boy.
I'm a functional marketer. I'm selling commodities. Like if you want someone to sell a bag of salt, I'm your guy.
Okay, so who wins? I can do narrative, but I can only do text.
Yeah.
I can't even do a carousel. So I think Instagram as a platform Instagram and TikTok are like out for me. I've got email marketing.
You can't do a post on Instagram without an accompanying image.
No.
So you've got Threads, Blue Sky, X, RIP.
Email.
Oh.
I've got email marketing and I can make it store. I can't tell people how much it costs, but that's fine. I can create a narrative.
Can you do HTML formatting?
Of course I can.
Because it's not an image.
Of course I can.
Okay.
Of course I can. I've got text. So there's that. And what have you got?
I've got image.
Yeah.
Video.
Yeah.
And the ability to quote a price. So I am getting the bargain seekers. I'm getting the accountants. Like, give me an image of the dashboard, show me a video of it working, and then give me a robust but fair price.
It's funny because in marketing, in social media, you don't even really talk about price. Okay, so who wins? I actually don't know who wins this one.
This is tight. I am getting like the INTJ kind of.
Yes.
Sell it to me straight. Don't blind me with the narrative.
Yeah.
I don't want your fancy stories.
Okay, so what we're going to do is I'm going to ask a social media person who's listening to this podcast, who's a social media expert, who wins, who's won. Thank you for coming to talk. I've ended it. I've closed. I'm done. We're done. I am done here. I am done with you.
You're a sore loser.
I didn't lose. I didn't lose. Anything else to add before we close this?
Thank you for a lovely podcast.
Thank you for a lovely podcast. Cut!
The world is weird. Welcome
You pulled it back.
Work it to me.